Hey everyone, I'll be giving my first impressions on Agatha Harkness, the new champ coming in August of 2026. I tested her at rank 4, rank 5, and rank 5 A1, and the relic I used was a rank 2 Scarlet Witch relic. I believe that is the best one for her. Stat focus wise, definitely physical resistance on defense because she has negative physical resistance at base. As for attacker stat focus, I went with special damage just because that's where a good amount of her damage lies, but honestly, you could consider crit rating, although she does already have a really high crit rating. It's up to you, but when she crits, she does a lot more damage, and it can make her rotation much faster. Signature ability, I maxed it out because it just, gives you increased energy vulnerability potency. So that's good. In addition, that regen from Nova Flames makes her a very good Dark Phoenix counter. Okay, that's enough talk. Let's go on to the fights. Okay, starting off with the rank 4 against a Dark Phoenix. So this is one of her easier matchups. You nullify everything, really. So, or not nullify, you destroy her safeguard and her unstoppable. So, typically with Agatha, you want to spam intercepts at the start to stack those amplifies to get more power, and yeah, drop your prison as soon as possible to double those amplifies. And yeah, so special 1, special 2 is her rotation. Dark Phoenix is nearly dead. Just gotta throw that to destroy that immortality. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing much explaining. You'll have to deep dive in other videos to go over abilities, but Dark Phoenix is a pretty easy matchup. Next up we have Null. Just a heads up, you do want to be good at reverse controls if you want the fastest possible time. Since Agatha is immune to armor break, what I'm going to do here is bait this special 1 on purpose, and once the corruption starts, all your living abyss debuffs on you are going to become armor breaks, except you'll be immune, so no debuffs on you, and just go for your special 2 with no inequity, and Null takes a lot of damage. So, pretty good matchup. Once again, you need to be good at reverse controls, but if you get the hang of it, it's quite fast, especially considering we're punching up 1.5 ranks here. Next, we have Serpent. I will say this is like starting to get on the lower side of matchups. This is where Agatha really struggles with her like block damage, I suppose. In fact, that she doesn't really have much healing. Take Kush for example, she net heals from block damage. Whereas with Agatha, you gotta rely on this fear debuff to heal you back up. A fun thing about this fight though is that you'll steal Serpent's buffs when he's atrophied, and one of those buffs is a power gain, which just allows you to really spam specials and have at it. Here, I get a lucky, or yeah, no, that was lucky. I'll get a bunch of stand-up intercepts with the specials and relics to stall out, but Serpent under a minute, quite a bit of damage, but not bad, punching on 1 rank up. Now into something a little lighter, we have Heimdall. You could probably do this fight better by getting him to 100 charge and then making him get a Fury and stealing it. However, you don't really need to go that fancy. You can just allow Heimdall to do that. Oh yeah, that's an important thing. Punishing the special with heavy so you don't get auto-blocked. Yeah. Another thing, I forgot if I haven't mentioned it yet, but you want to throw your special 2 in the rune prison so you get more burst damage. Anyways, that is Heimdall down. Overall, decent for cosmics. I would not punch up to Maestro, and I would not do Thanos ever. Here, just wanted to show off like how she does outside of class advantage, and I will say she does pretty well. She's not gonna beat out other mystics such as like Tigra, White Tiger, Kashala, even Spiral in terms of outside of class advantage versatility. However, this is still a pretty fast matchup for punching up outside of class advantage. Do note that I make a mistake here and forget that my Scarlet Witch relic gives me a buff, so that causes me to take that poison damage, which really sucks. And here I get a lucky crit that allows me to finish the fight in 51 seconds, so that's really fast. But, you know, got lucky and took a bit of damage. Anyways, let's move on to the rank 5 now. We'll be starting to just punch equal rank and slightly punch ups against ascended defenders, but if you decide to invest in Agatha a little more, she's gonna feel a lot more consistent and in some fights be extremely fast if she crits. But yeah, here showing off that you destroy unstoppable buffs, so if Dark Phoenix throws a special 1, it's like no big deal. And Nova Flame doesn't really do damage to you. There, she gets immortality, I well-timed block and destroy it. Dark Phoenix in 36 seconds. Very fast, very competitive. I don't know if it's faster than Nico, but it's still up there. I would say it's tied with Nico and Paviter. Then back to Null. I will say that I see Agatha's advantage over other mystics to run in your deck is that she takes Null very well, and with Null Ascension being recent, you kind of want that because Null's inequity really screws up a lot of other mystics. However, Agatha really doesn't have as much trouble. Like, that special 2 nearly kills, and spoiler alert, the special 2 from a R5A1 will kill. But yeah, Null in 42 seconds, very fast time. Like, she's definitely worth running for Null if you don't have like Absman. Loading in, we have Serpent again, equal rank. I don't believe this fight is any faster exactly. I would say that with the equal rank, she just perhaps a bit more consistent since you don't need to rely on crits to go as fast. The bigger thing is that you have more health, so you take less damage. That was a little weird intercept, but here I'm dropping the special 2. Does a good chunk of damage. Then I'll bait this special 2 from Serpent. It does a lot of block damage, as you'll see, but the extra power gain just allows me to really spam specials. There, I baited a special 1, accidentally dexed, but it's fine. I got Fear for willpower, and this special 2 will finish the job. So, pretty decent. A little bit unnecessary damage taken, but still good. Now to Heimdall. Quick note, her atrophy is okay. I think it goes up to like 60% when you have 2 atrophies on. It's nothing insane, but it's still nice to have. I wouldn't call her the best at, you know, buff control, but it's good enough to really take away most of Heimdall's buffs. Here, I make a slight mistake by pushing Heimdall out of the rune prison. The recording lagged a little, but I mean, it's nothing crazy that you missed. It's just, you know, typical Heimdall. Next, we have Maestro, so I'm still punching 1 rank up, but now that I'm no longer rank 4 punching 2 ranks up, the fight is doable. I will say this is not her greatest matchup. In fact, it took me a lot of tries. You really have to know what's going on, because this atrophy, it's not that strong, so you really have a short window for getting Maestro's buff to end and stop him from gaining his charges. But once you do have that, you'll be able to just rush up to the special, assuming you hit 100 charge. And yeah, so this will be Maestro down in a decent time, but it was a very tight timing, took a lot of attempts. Definitely not like, it shouldn't be your go-to unless you really perfect it. And this fight along with Nico really highlights how if you want to play Agatha optimally, you have to go for a lot of intercepts. And personally, her light attack does not feel great to intercept with. So it's not really necessary to do all those intercepts. Like, I do it because, you know, I'm trying to simulate a Battlegrounds fight where I'm trying to go as fast as possible. But if you take your time a little more and, you know, bait more special attacks to also get an amplify that way, she'll probably feel better, truthfully. But I mean, I'm still relatively cutting it a little close on all these fights, so I want to do my best and show off like, hey, this is the quote-unquote ceiling. Although I can't really say that when I know there is a room for improvement, but here I don't take poison damage this time, albeit a little slower, but a little healthier. Finally, onto the R5A1. This is where you're punching down or equal to Ascended Champs. Most of these fights are just gonna be the same, quite frankly. Like, the Ascension isn't really making her faster for matchups like Dark Phoenix, because you're already, you know, doing ridiculous amounts of damage. But yeah, I bait out this special 2 for a Fury, and special 2 will bring her to immortality. After a well-timed block, destroy it 2 seconds faster. I mean, not bad. Here with Null though, you will see, you know, the fight being faster because, like I said, the special 2 will kill. And the Ascension, I believe that the biggest thing that it's adding to Agatha is extra challenger rating. And that extra challenger rating is going to allow her to just crit more often. And when she crits, she does a lot of damage. So yeah, there I tap this block to bait this special 2. Dex it. I want to use this striker to get Null into the rune field, and then I can just drop this special 2 and nuke him. So honestly, I didn't even crit that much, but yeah, 40-second Null fight. Pretty good. Now back to Serpent. I don't really know if there is much changing here. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm doing this thing where I'm light attacking the air, by the way, just in hopes that the defender will just dash into my combo. You probably don't have or shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but it's what I prefer. Here, Serpent was being a bit stingy on the special 2, or just any special in general. I typically like baiting the special 1, but the special 2 was fine. Ended up working out because it allows me to throw this second special 2 back to back, riding off of the first energy vulnerability, and the special 1 will finish him off in 47 seconds, so faster than before, but like, I believe that getting lucky on the last, or getting lucky as a rank 5 or doing the same rotation of baiting special 2 would be just as fast. It's just, you know, different things happening. Once again, showing Maestro here, I think this takes about the same amount of time. You saw that I, you know, spammed those intercepts. The the fishing for intercepts constantly has really dulled my like enjoyment of this champ, to be honest, which is sad because she's really good, or not really good, but she's good. She gets the job done. She has a very impressive amount of damage. It's just, you know, you try to use the same champ over and over, trying to get the perfect possible outcome, or not even perfect, just a decent outcome. And, you know, every little mistake really puts a hamper on things. It doesn't help that, once again, I dislike her animation, but yeah, Maestro, good time. Finally back to Nico. Anyways, yeah, I think that Agatha gameplay, or yeah, gameplay wise is not gonna be for everybody, because if you aren't fishing for intercepts like I am, then what, you'll have to rely on baiting specials for amplifies, which is just gonna make her ridiculously slow, to be honest. So you need some intercepting. You don't necessarily have to stack to 5 amplifies every fight like I do with Nico. I only do that because I really want to power control her. But yeah, here I get a lucky stand-up intercept with the relic, and she's down. But yeah, overall, just reiterating the same point over and over again, because quite frankly, these fights are pretty much all the same. I show the non-class advantage fights as just ones that most champs can take, like Onslaught here, as long as you don't, like, you know, shock, incinerate, cold snap him, you should be able to do well. Or, and if you're not metal, if you're metal, it's like tough, but here, you know, Onslaught has a handful of debuffs that you can use for willpower and such. Allows you to not lose all your health. Granted, I didn't do the best job at allowing myself to get crushed. Also here, I should have moved so that the special 2 would be within the rune prison, but it's fine. This combo kills off Onslaught in 53 seconds, 90% health loss. Not great, but yeah. Finally, we have this Korg here, just showing off, you know, Agatha uses energy damage, so you won't be taking thorns. Do I do mediums while he has rock shield up? I'm not even sure, but hey, if I ever did, it wouldn't do anything. So yeah. Once again, just, oh, I do one attack, but yeah, I'm doing my best to just get those intercepts, get Amplify up. Special 2 does a decent amount of damage. I think I go, yeah, I get greedy there and eat a special 1 as a result, but quite frankly, it's late as of recording this, so I didn't want to re-record. But, I mean, I think this is good enough. It shows, yeah, you take 50 seconds. If you aren't a chud like me and eat a special 1, you'd be at full health. Now onto some defensive gameplay. I'm just using a Star Lord here to show like an attacker with no utility against Agatha. I would say that she's not gonna be your like reliable defender. Like you're not gonna place her and expect her to do well, but her attribute or her main defensive abilities you have to watch out for are this power steal, just making the fight last longer because I get less power. Additionally, you saw there with the signature ability, when you intercept her on cooldown, she will knock herself down so you can't like do a full combo. But yeah, overall, the route's a little annoying, but I guess you just have to bait special ones. She doesn't even have like traditional mistake dispersion too, so she shouldn't be gaining as much power. Sorry for a little lag spike, but yeah, as long as you stick to baiting special ones, it's really fine. And additionally, her special one has a really, delayed animation, so watch out for that too. Now I'm going to push to a special 2 and demonstrate that you probably don't want to go here because it sucks. It sucks to face. It will burst you through block, and that delayed special 2 hit, which has multiple hits to it. Yeah, that beam seems like a double dex or yeah, something. I don't know the timing to it. Yeah, let's go on to final thoughts. So, what do I think of Agatha? I think that she's a pretty decent attacker. She really surprised me with her damage output. Like, most people will say that, newer champs are tuned for Ascension, but I don't believe that you need her Ascension to be putting out good damage, because even at rank 4 and rank 5, she still got the job done for her target matchups, and even outside of her target matchups, she still puts in some work. Uh, that energy vulnerability is extremely potent, even if the special 2 doesn't kill, your basics still do a decent amount of damage. As for her defensive ability, um, of course, I can't get a good measurement of it so soon. Like, last month was Black Tarantula. I thought he'd be quite annoying, and then, when he dropped on the live server, he's not so bad. But, you know, outside of that, with Agatha, I don't believe she has as much kill potential. She certainly just seems more like a stall in her power steal and the semi long special 1 animation. If you push her to a special 2, or if she's pushed to a special 2, it's gonna be a much tougher time because, well, I personally think it's a tough dex, and if you block, you take a bunch of damage, which is no fun. Otherwise, yeah, just deal with the rune prison. That rooted from trying to exit that field really isn't a big issue. Like, it's only 5 seconds long, and part of that duration is during her special attack, which doesn't really matter whether you're rooted or not. And the like pseudo inexorable within the prison might be annoying if you have to push her to the corner for your you know own champion kit. But otherwise, it's like not that big of a deal because you could always exit the field later if you really want to push her around, or just use mediums. Mediums will actually move her. It's light attacks and specials and heavies that don't push Agatha. Additionally, her combo interruption from her Sig isn't really that much of a nuisance. Like, yeah, it's your first intercept is just made void because she knocks herself down, but you can just intercept her again. It goes on a like 10-second cooldown. So that's it about her as a defender. Overall, I think she's definitely worth like giving a shot if you pull her from a Titan crystal, because like I said, damage is good, but be aware that her lights feel weird personally to intercept. If you don't like that intercept spam playstyle, Agatha's probably not for you. um, and her utility isn't like insane, so you don't have to get her for like a specific matchup, I would say. And then should you buy her for Ascension? Not necessarily. Like, of course she'll be better, but you're not gonna feel that bad about missing out on Ascension later. Cause I don't know, it was a little bit of an improvement on some matchups. Really makes some things more consistent, but you can expect similar results without Ascension. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Sorry things are all over the place. I recorded this in a rush and just wanted to get my thoughts out soon. Hopefully later down the line with future champs this month I am a bit more collected. But yeah, TLDR, Agatha, decent for Battlegrounds, not like an insane must pick up, but definitely worthy of a spot in your deck if you need like that mystic that takes care of Null as well as, you know, other champs like Dark Phoenix and Serpent. I would not pick her up for Maestro and Thanos specifically. You can leave those to other specialist mystics. In addition, she has good versatility as a defender. She has some abilities, which is better than none. Yeah, those are all my thoughts. Thank you for watching.